So welcome to Bunny's Designs. This is a live show with live peoples having an at-in chat on this blustery but bright October day in the UK. So it's a bit cold in my room. So I'm going to be working in my Magical Dawn by Hanna Karlzon. And what I'm doing in this particular book is I'm scratching colour, but I'm not activating it. So this one is Caran d'Ache Colour 2s. And I think I'm going to have to actually, I'm going to have to write this down. So I have a memory like a sieve, and I normally get myself into trouble. So what I'm going to do now is this is how I do it. I'm going to put Neo Colour 2s. And I shall just have a little bit sticking out of the top. And then we turn over, and this one was Derwent watercolour pencils. And I've scratched both sides, but there's a piece of tracing paper between because we don't want to contaminate, because it's just literally scratched, scribbled on colour, ready to be activated at a later date. So the idea is I'm going to fill this full of scratch colour, and I'm going to take it away with me, and then I'm going to colour it while I'm away and leave the pencils at home. Or in this case, I'm going to have an awful lot of colour about, and it'll probably be a suitcase. So this one's going to be Inktense pencils. And I'll pop that there in a second. And what that's going to do is just help me remember, because I've done a lot of colour pages and I've completely forgotten what they are. So I think the memory's going a bit. So I'm going to try to do this, and then when I go back to this, it's not actually going to matter, but I do know that this is Neo's, and Neo's melt. Even though it's scribble, the Neo Colour 2s just melt when you touch them with a brush. So the idea is that I'm going to fill this book, I think I actually might fill the whole book, with scratched on water-based either crayon or pencil. And that will probably entail, obviously not the watercolour and not the peerless, but I will probably scratch on Derwent watercolour pencils, Inktense pencils, Graphitint, Caran d'Ache Colour 2s. I've got some pastel pencils, they're going to be scratched in here, and I think that's going to be it. I've got Inktense blocks, I've got some pastels, so I might do a pastel one, it depends. So I think I'm going to do this page with that, and this one I think I'm going to use pastels, I think. Yep, I'm just going to write myself a note to say that this is going to be pastel pencils pen, because I have some lovely red ones for this. So we want pastel pencils, and there Derwent. Now obviously you have to put whatever you want. So that one's going there, and not sure what I'm going to do with that one. So the idea is that I scratch all the colour in, and then I can activate it at a later stage. So I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to go through some fairy colour books with some colour ideas. I'm just hoping it's not not flashed out. I'll zoom in a second. So this is the Hanna Karlzon Magical Dawn. And again, I'm doing two things methodical. I'm actually labeling them what they are because I forget. And I'm starting at the beginning of a page, and it doesn't matter what's on the next page. I'm not going to flip, even though I might want to do this one first. I'm making sure I go through it in page order, because if I don't, I forget pages and I neglect pages. And I think it's the best way for me to start and finish one book. And you can start several books. I don't intend to work on just one, but I intend to start at the beginning of the book and work through it, because then I don't miss pages. And if it's a page that I don't particularly like, I'll experiment with. And then if I make a boo-boo, it doesn't matter. Because most of this is playing with your water-based products, or your pencils or markers or whatever you use. Markers in here, you would destroy the back page, but it's what everybody wants to do. Some people tear them out, some people leave them in. So I don't bother with any gesso. I just put a small amount of colour and a small amount of damp brush, not a watercolour brush because it floods it. I have been using the Derwent #1 watercolour brush. Water brush, and I quite like that one because you can twist it on a baby wipe and just get enough water off it to leave it damp, and that makes it okay. So I'm going to have a bit of a look, and of course the first thing I've seen are these crystals, so I'm going to zoom in, and we have our Betsy Doodles, and she's squashed herself up in the corner now. She did come out a minute ago, but she's gone back because Alfie was barking because the postman was here, so that kind of messed everything up a bit. My camera's bunky. So I'm going to zoom in. I'll have a quick mouthful of coffee. And then I'll zoom in on my new laptop. Yay! I swapped it I got rid of the big tower because it just wasn't working. So I'm going to zoom in. Oopsie, it's quite zoomed in. I think it's possibly, excuse my scruffy writing, I think it might just be, so I'm going to be moving the book about, so I'm going to do this section first. And you've got to decide where the light's coming from. So normally I have it left. I'm going to have it coming from the left this time, not the right. So I'm going to have this over highlight. But if I did it the other way, the frog, our little Mr. Frog would have a highlight on his back, or is he going to have a highlight on his front? Well, I think I'll take it coming from the left. So if you had a bad memory, you could just push that on there and put direction of light. So you know that everything on this side is going to be a shadow and everything on this side is going to be paler. But there's different ways to do it. So I'm having a quick flip. I have a couple of colours that I like for these crystals, but we've got a green frog, so he's got to be green. So I could do this kind of a green-blue theme. So I think I'm going to go with, sorry, Alfie's have been underneath the table making strange noises all morning. I think I'm going to go with phthalo green or green blue. Oh, I think I like green blue. So what I'm doing is looking at my colours, and that wouldn't do because that's Neocolor 2s. I want the Graphitint, the Inktense. Sorry, I want the Inktense. So Inktense. So the Inktense, there is a vivid green and there is an apple green. Well, I think the frog might be an apple green. And on this side, there's mallard green and teal green. I think I like teal green. That's kind of a bottle colour. So that's a bottle colour. And then we have the green frog. Let's have a look. There's a lagoon and I think I used that last time, but I really like it. So I think I'm going to use, the violet's too pale, isn't it? There's a mauve. There's a mauve. I think I might do that purple. So I'm looking for mauve. Sorry, not yes, we're looking for mauve. Or shall I do violet? So I've got a dark purple and a deep violet. Oh, dark purple's quite nice. Yep, I think I'm going to go with dark purple 750. So what I'm going to do is look here, because if you look at the ends of these, you can't tell how pink they are. So I use my little book of colours to have a look. So my purples are down here. Have a quick look. What's that one? Oh, this is deep. It's deep violet. I think actually deep violet might be nice. Yeah, so I don't have much of a point on it, but it doesn't bother me. And underneath is going to be the darkest, so I think I'm going to put a little bit on there, and then I'm just going to put a tiny bit on there, and a tiny bit on there. So, and this is going to make sure that I don't kind of mess it up too much. So this little tiny bit is going to be manoeuvred up there to give the palest of palest highlights. And there's going to be enough colour on here. So this one that I did yesterday, here, I wanted really, really bright, vibrant colours. And they were Derwent watercolour pencils. But this one I want to be kind of paler. So although I'm going to have that down there, I'm just going to put a bit of colour. I'm not putting anything on the top one because there's going to be enough colour without me making a mess of that one. So I'll do that one and a little bit. And we'll do that one. And I should, in theory, get some really nice, soft watercolour effects just from that little bit of colour. Apologies for Alfie under the table. So we have Alfie under the table and we have Betsy Doodles on the table. So we've got a bit of a full house today. So the postman has been and I had my cheap thrill because it's quite cold out there and he's in his shorts, bless him. So there we go. Just a bit of colour on that one and that one. And you'll be quite amazed of how this colour is going to kind of change. I'm just going to put that there. So again, some of these have got a bit of colour. And a lot of them I'm not actually going to bother because there will be some colour kicking about on your paintbrush, kind of after. So just put a little bit of colour on that. And the really tiny ones, I'm not going to bother because they really will have enough colour on your paintbrush, because these are Inktense pencils and they're very vibrant. It's just, if I can put some on a few facets, it's just going to look a bit better. And so they're very tiny ones. I don't really think I want to be bothered with. And again, it's a really nice, peaceful way to work. You've just got a bit of dry pencil at the moment. And then when you go away, you can take a water brush and activate it and then do the interesting colour bit. At the moment, we're just scratching the colour in. So I think I'm going to do all the crystals the same colour. So this one I'm going to have to think about. So if I do that one and that one, it'll give an illusion of being and the rest is going to be kind of mixed about when I do it. So that's that one and that one. He's got a bit of a diamond thing going on. So they're going to be scattered all over the place. Let's see if we can find some more. The next is on here. So I'm just going to do this one, and then the colour from this wet will do that colour, and the same with this one. And I really like the candle colours I did last time, so I'm going to have a quick look to see if I could get those colours again. So if I look back, I had a yellow, I had a red, an orange and a yellow. And I'm not putting this one on here for this one. Oops, sorry about the rattle. It's the other one. It's this particular page. These two pages I don't want to contaminate. So I want a red and I want an orange and I want a yellow. So we'll pick the yellow first. It's a candle, so I want it warm. So I'm either going to go cadmium yellow, I think, or shall I go, if I go cadmium yellow, oh, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to do that. I'm going to do cadmium yellow. Where's cadmium red? I think we have poppy red, cadmium orange and cadmium yellow. That might make a nice combination. So we've got cadmium yellow, kind of like poppy red. Can't find goat. Can't find. I'll use tangerine, I think. Where's tangerine? Tangerine's a bit dark. No, I want it paler, so I want burnt orange. I think that must be. Yeah, that's cadmium orange, that one. So I've got three colours. I've got a yellow, a warm orange, and a cold red. But then they're like kind of next to each other on the colour wheel. So slide over here carefully. I'm going to do this flame. So in the middle, I'm going to have yellow. And again, not putting much colour because these are Inktense, so I'm going to make this the watercolour effect. So I'm going to just activate that and take it up there. So next we want yellow. Try not to put them next to each other, so I'm just scratching a little bit of colour in. Oh, hi Claire, welcome to Bunny's Designs. Anybody else popping by? And a bit of red on that one. And I'm not putting much on because really I want them to kind of now the disadvantage of this is you really don't know what's going to happen until you've actually finished it. So you've just got to guess that that's going to have a watercolour effect. So it's not going to be as vibrant as the first page. So you can use the same kind of pencils but get a different effect. So we have our green frog next, who is down here. I think we've got sherbet lemon because it's a cold yellow, that one. Sorry, a cold green. I don't think we want an olive green. Oh, we might have, yes, olive. So we're going to have him. I've got spring green, I've got fern, and I've got leaf green. So I think we'll have a light olive. I think we'll have a light olive. So we look for light olive. And I like fern as well, so I don't know what colour fern is. It's worn off. And the highlights, I'm going to have this very cold sherbet lemon, which is a very light yellow green. So again, I've got three different colours. I've got a light, a medium and a dark. Oh, hi Kingo, welcome to Bunny's Designs. Anybody else popping by? I'm working in the Hanna Karlzon colour book and I'm scratching just a small amount of colour to give a kind of a watercolour effect. So he's going to have a pale tummy. So he's going to have a pale tummy. So if I scratch the colour on the underneath, and I shall think I might go over him with white dots a bit later. So, I think I might end up having to colour quite a lot of him. And Alfie's having some dreams, so apologies. Little Alf is dreaming his little socks off. And I'm not pressing on very dark, I'm just putting some colour on here. He's probably going to have a little bit more than he should have really, but never mind. It'll blend quite nicely. And then we're going to kind of a bit of dark in certain places. Poor Alfie. Don't know what he's dreaming about, but he's I'm just going to put this colour here, so hopefully when we activate it, it's going to look quite cool. Just have a bit of that on there. So it does look quite yellow, this, but I just want the tips. Just want a bit of colour in here, and remember these are Inktense, so they are going to be really vibrant. And then we just want a little bit of a contrast in that one. So we've kind of got a bit of a thing going on. So scratch that bit of colour in there. I think I'm going to give him an orange eye. So he's got colour scratched. I think maybe the mid-tone would do. I wanted a bit of a watercolour effect, so I was trying to keep him not kind of fully coloured, but I think it'll still come out okay. So we've got this orange out that I quite like, so I think I'll just do this one. So we've got some vases, and I think I looked at blue for that one. I think I wanted a blue. So I've got a purple crystal at the top. So we want purple blues, don't we? So I think we'll have we've got Lagoon, which is quite a nice colour. It's a really rich purpley blue. What colour we've got for that? There's a deep purple, a dark purple, a deep violet. I don't think I want red violet. Lagoon, quite like that one. Well, that's 3. I think we might be okay with 3. I've got a dusky purple and a mauve. 740. Yeah. So I've got 4 purples. And so I've got kind of a bluey purple to a mauve to a light purple, I think. So I'm going to do Lagoon. Oh, sorry, I'm going to do the light one. What's this one? This is Dusky Purple. I think I'm going to do that one here. So again, a watercolour effect. Activate the colour, and then I'm going to kind of run it up and down there. So I don't want anything in the middle because I'm going to activate that. Oh, hi Melody, welcome back. Quick slurp of tea. Oh, hi Barb. Anybody else popping in? Welcome to Bunny's Designs. I'm continuing scratching colour into my little book of colours. Sorry, into my Hanna Karlzon book, so that I can leave the pencils and the crayons, and I can just take the book and a water brush and leave all the supplies at home and have a book that's all ready to colour. So it's a bit like when we were children, we had those magic colour books. You just activated the plain page and all the colours appeared by magic. Don't know if anybody else had those. Can just about remember them. I thought that was a wonderful thing to do. And then just a little bit. So in theory, when we activate this purple, it'll be a little bit like watercolouring, slightly different way, that's all. So we can build up a nice watercolour effect. So that's going to be darker, darker, lighter, 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 and then it's going to be darker, darker, lighter, 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 and hopefully we meet in the middle. Oh, hi Kenny, welcome to Bunny's Designs. Anybody else popping in? So that was Dusky Purple, number 730. I think I've done all the glass bit. So the next one I'm going to use is, I think this is mauve. So I think, again, I do want a bit of a, oh, I'm going to have to sharpen that one if I use it, aren't I? So, sharpening guard. And I think I've put them all away now. Oh, I left it out. Is there? So I hopefully won't do what I did yesterday. I hope I don't do what I did yesterday. Oh, last week. I filled this with bits and then I went to blow my nose on it and they went everywhere. So scratch a little bit of pencil, then turn it, and a little bit more. And remember, if it slips, it's going to hit that or it's going to go over there. It's not going anywhere near me. Never ever do it this way. She'll probably never colour again. Have to be very careful. Now again, mine are older, so this wood is slightly different to the wood that's in them now, because we've got different kind of woods for pencils. These are really old, so the pencil is slightly different, but it still should work. And I love this penciling sharp guard because this is how to sharpen a pencil. And again, I've got the wood, no tiniest bit of colour missing. This is all colour. This is the strip of colour. And I don't need to point because I've got a sharp edge there, I've got a sharp edge there, I've got a sharp edge there, but I've got a flat facet on the top. And by the time I've worn that down, I'll have made another facet somewhere else. When you have a point and you get rid of it, you've just got a blunt. So again, I've got to just move that out of the way. Carefully tip this out of the way. And it's gone. So this one is mauve number 740, and I think I'm going to just put, you see, that is such a fine line. I've got where I drew it now, there. It's such a fine line. I think I'm going to work from the middle. And the colour's going to be darkest in the middle to make it look rounded. So scratch a little bit of colour here and then leave the rest because I'm going to use this as a watercolour effect. So these are Inktense, so they're very, 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 very vibrant. So again, I'm going to put a little bit there. And then I would carry that across and a little bit there. And then just carry it across and a little bit there. Now this probably would be dark because there's not much light in there, and a little bit there. I'm just going to take that colour up there, and I think I'm going to do white. I'm going to take a white pen with me, white Posca pen, so that I can do some dots and some white highlights. So I've used those two. I've got Deep Violet and Lagoon. So Lagoon is the bluest one. And I've actually missed a bit. Oh no, I haven't. I've done that bit, done that bit. I think the blue one, I might just put a little bit here. So this one is number 810 Lagoon. And it's a bluey purple. It's almost a French ultramarine. And that's going to be that colour. So this colour I'm going to kind of go in here, I think. And I think I'm going to actually have that knot as a highlight. So you can have a rich colour there, like almost like a satin colour. It's not shiny, where the other ones are going to look shiny. And I think here, and then now if you wanted, you could do a sharp point for this, but I don't really need one, I don't think. So going back up here, sorry about that. This wants to be framed too. That colour's going to come up, that colour's going to come up, this colour's going to go around the outside. And oops, it's just that little bit there. And I just love the fact that you're just scratching a little bit of colour. Now I'm going to use this one, but I'm going to go on the outside. And that'll again create that illusion of it being round. And there's a little bit down here. So I have deep violet. I think I'm going to do this here, so I can drag that colour out. And I'm going to have it there to drag it up, and I'm going to have it here to drag it down. And again, I'm going to put that here. And at the bottom. So we've coloured all that in, and we've got all that coloured in. So what we need now is just the little gems, I think. So this one is Lagoon, I think. Yep. Again, just it's going to have some slightly darker things. I think I might actually like that blue. Just, and I might do these quite strong, so they look like kind of really strong beads. So again, we just want a little bit of colour in there. And I'll probably do those with that little tiny brush. So where's my going now? Just it's flashing out a bit. Sorry, I can't believe that one day it's perfectly alright and the next day it's gone boo-boo. So I think we're just about sorted. If there's any I've forgotten or I want to go over anything, I can do that another time. So all that should be purples and blues. I'll just zoom out a little bit and you can perhaps see that it's just that little bit. So we've just scratched colour. Now the purples look like darks, they look like dark browns at the moment, but that's the colours, which looks really horrid. But once we get some water in there, it should be better. Might just pop it here, see if that's just a bit better. Oh, the colours look slightly better there. Right, I hope that looks all right. So let's see if we can zoom in. That's better. I think that looks like slightly better. Right, so I'll put these back because I'm terrible for not putting my pencils back. And I get in such a pickle. Yeah, so that should be really pale. And then this is going to come down, that's going to come down, this is going to come down. So the next one is the heart one. And I think that can be maybe reds, I think possibly. So again, I'm going to look at my little book, and I'm not sure if I might want pinky red. So we've got a red violet, we've got a fuchsia and a deep rose. So fuchsia and deep rose look nice. And there's thistle. I always like thistle. I like Shiraz, but I don't know whether Shiraz is down there. That's a bit dark. Let me see if I can find thistle. There's thistle. So we've got thistle, we've got deep rose, we've got fuchsia, and I think we're going to have red violet. $6.10. Can't find red violet. $6.10. Oh, there's red violet. $6.10. Right. So that's given me 4 colours. And again, just going to have to sharpen this one. So open the little packet, tissue, put that in it. Now because of the sharpening guard, the Derwent sharpening guard has got little rubber feet, it's not going to move anywhere. But I wouldn't do it on the tissue, I would do it on a flat surface so that they could grip. But as I say, I've been doing this a long time. Gosh, just do this one as well. So if anybody got any questions, pop them in caps. Just bear with me 2 seconds. Just have to concentrate on what I'm doing. This is a moment when you do not want to be looking at chat or answering your phone or doing anything when your eyes are not actually watching what you're doing, because you will lose a finger. And again, I've left the strip alone and just taken the wood off. Because the strip is pure colour and there's a tight Yorkshire lass. I like my colour to go on my pages and not down the drain or in the bin. So, it's not so bad. So we have, I have to look at my guide for this because purples look all the same. But this is why this is wonderful, because I can see what I can get from these colours. So the palest one I think is the fuchsia. And then the next one, I haven't quite got them in order. The next one is deep rose. And then we have, I think we have thistle. And then lastly we have red violet. So that's the order I'm going to put them down so I know. So here we have the bottle. And I think I like that thistle, so I'm going to use thistle for the actual bottle. Just bear with me 2 seconds, let me get rid of this. On my screen. So I've got fuchsia, I've got thistle, which is 720. So if this is kind of rounded, we're going to have a bit of dark here, and then this is going to be the palest because the light's going to hit it. So we could do with maybe a little bit of a scratch of colour here, and then a little bit here. Now, I've got no sharp points, so I've just got a little soft facet that's just going to give me a bit of colour, and then I'm going to watercolour that out with the brush until I get a nice watercolour effect. So if you've got any questions, pop them in caps. So this heart kind of things look like it's stuck on the bottle. It's not actually the bottle. So then the neck here, we're going to have the next kind of, this is going to be a little bit dark. And then this is going to be dark. And then it's going to be dark in there. So again, I've got some little points, some little facets if I want it very deep. And then possibly maybe not even a highlight on that bit, but I've left that tiny bit there. So this one can go back because it's done its job. So the next one, I kind of like this to be very dark. I think I didn't get dusky purple, that was before, wasn't it? Where's the fuchsia? Fuchsia's very pale pink. Red violet is very similar to this one, so I think I'm going to have red violet in this one. And again, I want this to be matte because I don't think it's part of the bottle. I think it's just stuck on. Perhaps it might be me. But again, a lot of colour is going to go a long way. A bit of colour, sorry, because it's so vibrant. And I actually quite like that colour. So I think thistle, we'll put thistle on that one. So again, I'm just going to put a little bit of colour, and there's no sharp edges on here. It's all soft. Well, there are sharp edges, but I'm using a little soft facet. And I'm not going to fuss about these little circles because they'll drive me insane. It's the watercolour effect I want. And then again, this way is the same. So dark to imply that there's a ridge there and it's kind of higher. And then I've got my white Posca pen, which I'll go over it later, so I'll do that. I think this one is fuchsia, which is very bright, so I'm going to use this one. And again, I will probably use that little tiny brush. And once you've activated it, you're going to get a lot of colour. So you just want a bit of a dot. And then I think just a little bit of colour on top of there. And what was that colour I used? Thistle. Just a bit of thistle on that one. We need a complementary colour, really pinky. So let's have a look for these. Bob these back. And what can we have? What else have we got on here? We've got a crimson. That's quite nice. And again, I should really sharpen that, but I can show you that crimson. I think I'm going to do this crimson. So this is going to be quite dark. This. Again, there's no sharp lines because I don't have any points. It's just soft. But it kind of just glides on the page just a bit. There we go. And there's going to be enough colour there to kind of drag it round. And I think I'm just going to put a bit of red chilli over the top of that one to kind of grunge it up a little bit. Oh, I've got a heart in the middle. We can put that in there. Now there is enough colour to pick from here to do the other bit that I've left. So, and I want this to be kind of not too vibrant, so I'm got to be really careful because again, you know, we can't actually see what we're doing. So you've got to be really careful. You've got to think about the colour. Otherwise it's going to be really kind of full on, and I really wanted a watercolour effect. So some of this colour is going to be a bit kind of too much. So now we've got the, again, the stars I might leave white. Oh, I could put a background in this, and I don't normally do backgrounds. I think we possibly have a night sky. And that's Lagoon, and I've used it for there. But I have, in this particular set, a deep indigo. Which is a cool dark blue, so I think that might look quite nice. And we also have a navy blue, which again, this one's quite nice down here. I tilt it, but this one is one of my favourites, and it's called Deep Indigo. And I think that would look quite nice, but I'm just trying to think. I might actually do that pastel. Could do that pastel background because it will go on so much easier. And I'm going to put, even though this is kind of okay, I am going to put a piece of greaseproof paper between. So if you've got any questions, put them in caps. We have a look. Oh, look at this. I've got these gorgeous colours here. So I think we're going to have, there's a couple of bottles. I think these are going to be this colour. I think this might be, there's aquamarine and mallard green and teal green. So I think we're going to have some bottles. I've got four colours here. So I really, really like these. So there's dark aquamarine, 210, green aquamarine, which is 1220, mallard green, which is 13 something or other, and then I've got teal green, which is 1300. So I kind of like those. So we've got a purple, we've got purple, and we've got a pink. So we can have a teal, a green, and a blue. That's actually quite good. Dragon scales could be green. fairy dust, could be purple. Yep, they look quite good. And then I'm going to do the swirls last. So I'm just going to get this bottle done. So there's a little bottle here, look. Sorry about the noise. But our Betsy Doodles is fast asleep under my table. Can we see her little head? She's over there. She's over there. Oh, we can't see. I just can't see. Let me just pull the camera down a bit. It's our Betsy Doodle, fast asleep. Fast asleep, bless her. But she's laid out like a proper puss now. But she's fast asleep. And she likes it under there. Just put that down there so I don't make everybody thick. Oopsie. So that's our Betsy Doodles. And she's fast asleep, so I'm going to have to wake her up in a minute because she's she won't sleep at night, so we're going to try and keep her awake during the day. So I'm just going to put that there, and I think because that's going to be purple, I think we're going to have teal green, which is 1300, and teal green in the old one is 113. So I've put an extra 0 on that for some strange reason. And again, the light's coming a bit that way, so I'm going to put a bit under here. And I'm going to put, that would be actually really light, that, wouldn't it? So I'm actually going to put that up to there. So with my little damp brush, by the time I get to the top, it should be really almost see-through, which is just what I want. And this is the front, so again I'm going to put this kind of strong there. And we've got one of these horrible creases. A little bit there, because there'll be a highlight here, but then here it can be full on colour. And then if I need to pinch a bit of colour, I've got a bit down here. And then this can all be like this. And again, I can take this up. I'm going to take it over the top of the colour of the words. Maybe just a bit at that side to make sure that we've got that highlight coming kind of across. A bit there, a bit there, just a scratch. I think we might have the stopper the same colour. Now if I was doing this in my usual way, I would just pick a bit of this colour up. It's this one. I pick a bit with a brush and then I'd start and manoeuvre around. So I'd start here and manoeuvre around. But this way, I'm just putting the colour here so the brush, the damp brush with nothing on it but just a tiny amount of dampness, can activate the colour and then push it round. And that will give me my watercolour effect. But if you wanted to do it straight away, if you didn't want the pencils, do it from the paper palette. Just take a little, I mean not this brush, but a thin brush, do this and work that way across. And then you'll have your darkest at this side and your palest at that side. And again, we've put, no, again, that's because that will do exactly the same. That will be darker and that will be lighter. So it will look, and a tiny bit under here. And I think individual bits over there. And there's going to be enough colour here to drag it to this side. So every time I do that side, I'm going to do this one. Activate that one, do this one. Activate that one, do this one. Activate that one, do that one. Activate that one, do that one. And that's going to give me a darker highlight and a paler highlight. But it's all kind of, it matches, it goes. And then this is going to go right up to the top to be absolutely practically nothing by the time we get up there, and that's going to give that a round shape. So you can either shape with your drawing or your colouring. Could possibly do with a little bit just there, but not much. And then again, nothing at that side, although we do have a shadow at the top there. We would have a bit of a shadow. I think there's enough colour to go around there to give it a really nice colour. So that should give us all these, all these shades. So from the darkest to almost nothing, but a very, very soft colour. I'm sorry about my silly camera there. So we're going to have all those colours going from down to up, down to up. And then this one's going to be steady. So that was teal green. So I think this one we'll have as green aquamarine. I can't speak today, sorry. Green aquamarine. And again, there's not much point, but there's some little facets on there. Little flat planes. And in between each flat plane is an edge. And right at the top there is a bit of a point. And that's all you need really. So this one, did I say this one was aquamarine? Right, so here I'm going to do this one. So I'm going to start, I might leave these to be a different colour. So I'm going to put a little bit down there. And then I'm going to just put a little bit here. You can see how dark you can go if you want. And then spread that up there. Again here. And again, this is going to look like maybe a silver. Sometimes you have silver. Is it filigree that's across? Filigree. And then coming down, you've got the same, make that's 3D. And it doesn't always work, but this is going to be so much easier than taking the pencils with me. Now I'm quite lucky because I'm in a wheelchair now. I can actually carry lots of heavy things because they just go on the back of the wheelchair. But I used to have to carry things with me and it was such a pest. So I've scratched that bit of colour, and then just up here there is a little bit of that same bottle. And then the rest of it kind of looks like it could be silver. So we have to decide, are we going to do it silver? I could do that with the silver. But this one looks like it's kind of wax. If we go across, they look a bit like candle wax. So what are we going to do? Candle wax. I think we could do it the same colours. And that would have some continuity, I think. So we had a cadmium. That's cadmium orange, cadmium yellow, and we have a poppy red, I think, this time. No, I'm not going to do that because I don't like those colours. I don't really like those colours. Sorry. The only thing is you really have to get your colours right this time because obviously, you know, you're not going to be able to get another chance. So you do want to get them right. And I don't think I want those colours with that. I think I want some other colours. Like the pale blue. I think I like the pale blues. There's a C something 12000. Sorry, 1200. And is that C? I like that one. I think I'm going to do that this. Again, unfortunately, I've got to sharpen it, so apologies. Sharpen it. Bring up the blade again. So thanks for joining me, guys. Hope everybody's okay. It's a bright but blustery day here. It's a Winnie the Pooh day. It's a bit of a blustery day today. If Piglet was out there, he'd be in the sky, floating away. With scaredy cat Piglet. So again, all the colour of the strip is there because I'm a tight Yorkshire lass and I don't want it. Look at that beautiful point I've got. And I haven't done anything. All I've done is use it. So I've got a flat facet. But that's created me a beautiful sharp point. So again, you don't have to waste and sharpen your pens, especially when it's a colour a watercolour, because you literally are just scratching it in the bin. So I kind of like that. And again, a little bit there. And I've missed that strip and that strip, but there is going to be a colour floating about. So I have got no qualms about these two. I want really pale, so I'm going to do these two and then I'm going to do that one. I'm going to do these two and then I'm going to do this one. And there will be colour there because these are very vibrant. And then I've got some colour to spread about on those. And the tiniest amount, the more colour you put, the less highlight you're going to get. And trust me, you will get some highlight. Now I'm going to do that dark and that dark and that dark and possibly this one. In fact, I think I'm quite tempted to do that. So we've got quite a lot going on that one, but again, the white is going to be a highlight, so I have to put the pencil away and stop using it, otherwise I'm going to spoil the next one. And there will not be a highlight effect. Now these are watercolour pencils and I've purposely made them extremely vibrant so that when I activate them I'm going to have some really strong colour. And the idea is to get the Derwent watercolour pencil on this page stronger than the Inktense pencil on the following page. I did actually tell me what colours I wanted, and again I've forgotten. So this is how bad my memory is. So we've done a green teal, and we've done a green aqua. So this has got to be mallard, I think. Yeah, I think that was going to be mallard. So that's 130. 130 is mallard. Should be with the... It shouldn't be far away from there. Now, unfortunately, I've had mine so long. That's dark aquamarine, so this could be mallard. I think this one's mallard. I'm going to have to label them because the names have worn off. They are so old. No, I don't think that is mallard. And this is called mallard green, is it? It's called mallard green. Yes, it is. So this is that one. And again, I've got a bit of colour there. I'm just going to move this back here and just see if the angle can knock off the brightness, hopefully. Sorry about knocking the camera, that might be okay. Right. Oh, I'll let it do that then. The automatic brightness is turned off. Right, so we've got again this green down here. And then we have again all the dots I'm going to go over with white Posca. I think, I'm pretty sure. This is definitely, again, I'm not even going to go in the edges and the corners because there's no need. I can push that with the brush where I want it. So I just need a contrasting colour now. So that'll come down, that'll go up, that'll be really pale. We have a label. And we have a label. We just want a little bit there and a little bit there. And that's going to give the illusion that it's round. So with that colour, I think I want, I did like that lagoon, but I wonder if I should go darker. There's an iris blue. I think I might use this one. Again, I think I'm just going to put, and again, you really have no idea what this is going to look like, so it's all trial and error. So again, a little bit of colour up there. And again, remember this, the smallest amount of colour, the bigger the highlight. I think I'm going to just do this. I don't want too many colours on these. And if I do this and forget and think, oh, I don't really want to do this yet, I can always leave it and do it when I come home. You don't have to do all of it, but you can do the majority of it while you're away. So this last one was going to be dark aquamarine. Sorry, Alfie's on the move, so we want dark aquamarine. which is 1, 2, 10, which is 1, 2, 10. Right, so I'm going to put a little bit of colour in this one. So I was just laughing at Alfie. And again, I've got no sharpness, so all this is lovely and soft. There's no lines. Alfie, can you come here, please? Alfie, good boy. Good boy. Let's go back under this. So again, I'm just going to put a little bit of colour there and a little bit of colour under here. Because that can indicate kind of roundness. And it can be quite strong under there because we want a nice highlight to come down and then disappear, and then this one go up. So I don't know what that's supposed to be, but I think we'll just have a bit of colour there and there. And there is going to be enough to go on this bit to make it pale. Oops, sorry, I'm off the camera, beg your pardon. So there is going to be enough colour just to touch that highlight there. I think underneath there we're going to have a red. And that's going to be quite strong, but that's fine because it's underneath. So what we have now is some kind of edging around here. This little bit. Oh, sorry, my camera's been such a pest today. Oh, you pest, little pest. Little pest. Oopsie, sorry. Didn't disturb the cat, so that's good. I think I could get rather cross now. Oh, is that better? So I've got to decide what colours. So this one we said was the teal kind of dark aquamarine. Oh, Alfie, don't tickle, darling. Sorry, it's tickling my feet. I think I'm going to go for deep. I'm going to go for deep something or other. I think. There's a deep blue. I've got deep indigo there. Deep indigo might be quite nice because although deep indigo is very dark, it does go some really nice paler colours up here. So I'm going to put a little bit of colour. Now again, I have a really sharp facet there, so I can scratch a bit of colour in that bit, and that's going to make that quite dark. And then I'm going to put a little bit of colour in each one of those. And in there. And so that's deep indigo. And I think there's a bright blue. No, peacock blue. We'll have peacock blue. And we're just going to put a little bit at the bottom. And again, it doesn't look like much, but these are Inktense pencils. So I'm definitely not scratching too much colour in. And there's going to be enough colour. Actually, I might just put a tiny bit more in there. Because I can do this one and come down, do this one and come down, and use the colour somewhere else until it disappears. And then every scrap of colour is on the page and not down the drain. And while we're here, we can just give this little bag a good send off of colour. And that will be done with that little tiny brush. And I think I've just got a little bit. You can be a little bit darker. But there's all sorts of other colours about that were going to be on the brush that I could kind of use on there if I had to. So we've got the background, we've got the swells, and we've got the sand. So if we look for sand in the Inktense, we have got some cold browns and warm browns, and I think we've got raw sienna. Let's have a look. Oopsie. There's a Sicilian yellow, which is kind of a bit sandy coloured. Have a quick look at the browns, see what we've got here. Oh, we've got mustard and we've got amber. Mustard is quite good. I think mustard probably is slightly better. So we've got 1700 mustard. That's not mustard, that's tangerine. I think it's been put with these. Let's have a look. Oh, there's baked earth. What does baked earth look like? Oh, that's madder brown. Madder brown's quite nice, but it's not the colour that I really want. Oh, baked earth is down there. Oh, that's quite nice. But I think I'll use that one, and I'm going to use mustard. I think that's mustard, isn't it? They'd be mustard and amber. I think I'm going to use mustard for the sand dunes, I think. So again, this colour is going to be kind of manipulated out. And then it literally is a little bit of scribble. Sorry about that. You've just got to make sure you don't get any lines, but again, this watercolour pencil just melts, so bit of colour in. Of course, you can see through this because it's glass, but I did like this colour for, again, just going to sharpen this one. Has anybody got any questions? Pop them in caps. So thank you for joining us. Anybody else popping in? This is a live stream, recorded for Ustream, and also for YouTube for people to watch at their leisure. So thank you guys for stopping by. I hope everybody's okay. As I say, it's a very bright day in England, but it is a bit blustery. As Winnie the Pooh would say, it's a bit blustery today. And I take the wood off and I leave the strip, and I don't bother to do anything with it. I just leave it as it is. I can use it if I want to scribble. Oops, I did lose a little bit of colour there. If I want to scribble, I can scribble with the pencil, and I can rotate it if I want to, and I can rotate it until I get, until I get a point. But I've got a flat facet there too, and then I've got a point, so I don't really need to do anything with that at all. And I certainly don't need to sharpen the point, because I have something here which is quite a fine line if I want. And I actually do want, because just trying to get this one. I'm going to do this one as a sideways highlight, so this will be dark and the outside will be warm. Because of the highlight. And so inside here we need to create an illusion of it's 3D, so I want a bit of a shadow around here. And it's a very strong colour, this, so on the top here I can just, and that's going to completely disappear by the time it gets to the middle, and so I'm going to have a lovely highlight. Don't know about this stripy thing. I might do it a bit of a stripe, we'll see. We could have a mint colour, a mint green. There's a spring green there, that looks quite interesting. But I think it might be $19.20. Ooh, that's madder. It's madder brown, but the one behind it is bark. If that's bark, that looks quite nice. Madder brown is quite warm, so I think, again, oh dear, I've got to sharpen the pens. Sharpen the pens. So I hope everything's okay. If you've got any questions, oh sorry Mel, you find it difficult to I wasn't going to do, because I was going to do that when I was away. But I can do it on a different book. But this particular one I wanted to leave. There is quite a few videos just up there in the playlist with Inktense, where I scratch a bit and then I kind of colour it, and I scratch a bit and colour it. And that's a bit easier because you can see. And again, look at this, look at those sharp facets I have on there. Really sharp. And that's going to last a lot longer than a point. I will do that in a bit, Melody. Where am I going now? I'm just going to do this little bit here, and then that's going to be it, because I'll just do kind of, you start full colour, and then it'll come to a nice thing. So I've got that one. I'm just going to do the bottom one, and then, oh sorry, here. So I don't think we need a highlight, so I'm just going to go straight across. Don't know what I'm going to do with those, but I think if I'm over here and I've got some red, I think I'll just do a bit of something on there, because there will be colour about, definitely colour about, because it's impossible to do that otherwise. It really is. They are very, very well pigmented, these. That's why they're called Inktense, but they're not a watercolour. Technically, they're an ink. So I'm just going to scratch a little bit of colour, because we've been going about an hour and over an hour and a half. So I'll scratch a bit of colour on these swirls. So again, I need 3 colours. So I think I'm going to stick with these. I like these colours. So we're going to have a yellow. We're going to have cadmium yellow. We're going to have cadmium orange. And we're going to have kind of like a cadmium red, but there isn't one. So I think I do like poppy red, but it's a bit too red. Scarlet pink. I think. Oh, wait a second. Have a quick look. Again, I've got to have a quick look at the reds, because the red, the scarlet pink is actually kind of a red. I thought it looked red. Scarlet pink. So I'm going to use these 3 colours. So just going to move the camera and hope it's going to behave itself. Yep, sorry about it's wobbling. So the top one I want yellow. And so we've got the top one's yellow, because obviously it's the highlight of the 3. So we'll just scratch these in really quickly. And then I'll do another page, and we'll scratch a bit of colour in. So put the yellow in first. You get a bit of a good idea of what's going to happen. So, oops, that's a red. I really wanted the orange under that one. It's the orange one. And then that's the red one. Again, I didn't really want too much colour because I would have liked it to have been a watercolour effect, really, but just scratching some colour in now. And it really is a bit rough and ready, so and again, the only disadvantage of this is you can't really see what's happening until the end. So if you really hate a colour, it's already there. Oh, hi May, welcome to Bunny's Designs. Anybody else popping in? I'm scratching some colour in my... Sorry, Alfie's under the desk. Alfie's under the desk and Betsy Doodles is on the desk, just. So I'm just scratching a little bit of colour in so that when I'm away I can just take a water brush and not take anything with me. So far in here I've got I've done Neocolor 2s, I've done Derwent watercolour pencils, and now I'm doing Inktense pencils. So that's a lot of pencils and crayons to be carrying around with you when you don't really want to do that. And it's only very rough so that when I activate it I have quite a lot of colour. I think I said I was going to go over the stars with the Posca pen. And we'll get the glitter out as well. I think we may as well get the glitter out. So just turn that around so I can just get, again, not very hard, but I want a very soft covering, so I'm not pressing on. And it doesn't have to be perfect because this is going to be kind of activated with a brush, so it's going to behave itself beautifully. I'm just going to go over this one and then I'm going to go over the other one again in a minute. So. And it is quite fast. I think I've done a lot of talking, but it is normally quite fast. And we've got one of those horrible little down there. So that one wants to be, I hate these creases. Yellow. Let's see. I think that's... We want orange and... Oops. Orange and red. So thanks for joining me, guys. It's a bit fairly quiet. Oh, that's not right, is it? No. And all this colour is going to pop out, so you don't have to worry that it looks scruffy. It all goes to nothing. Yes, May, you get a lot of you get a lot of pigment, so you don't really need much. This is going to be probably too much now. I should have done it the watercolour way, but I got carried away. It's very easy to get carried away. So I'm just taking this colour and manipulating it. So oopsie. So we're trying to get the yellow ones on the top, the darker ones on the bottom. So we're going to have some really nice highlights on here. And if you make a mistake, just go over the top and mix the colours together. The strongest colour will come out. So I shall pan it out and I shall show you what we've done. It's fast and furious. This is my fast and furious way to work. So I'll just put my camera there and pan out. Oops. So you can see, oopsie, I think that's panned it too much. I'll just pan back in a minute. Let's have a look on do. So that's all colour, but it's just scratched colour. And there's gaps because I do want a watercolour effect. So I shall do this technique on another page. So that's all scratched with colour. I do need a piece of printer paper or scrap paper. And I'm just going to fold that like that. Take that page over, sit it in the little flap, push that right underneath so it's well in, otherwise you're going to have a lot of pages sticking out. So if we can get that right in that crease, see it's creased. If we can get that, stop being silly, right. And then you just need to fold that back over itself into that crease. So this one's protected by this grease tracing paper, and then now this one is protected by this piece of paper. And once I've activated it with a brush, that's fine. So I'll do a really quick flick. So this is Magical Dawn. Oh, sorry, my lighting today is pants. Magical Dawn. So this is Neocolor 2s, and when I coloured in this one, the colour has transferred from this page to this. But it's the first page. It doesn't bother. It's very faint. You can just see the candle. So this is Derwent watercolor pencils, but I've done them really strong. And this is Derwent Inktense pencils, and they're a little bit paler, apart from the swirls. And then I have to do them in order these days, so I've decided to do this one in pastel pencil. But I'm trying to put all the colour in here dry, and then I can just take this book and a water brush and leave the pencils at home. So I've got my 120 some Neos, and I've got my 72 Derwent watercolor pencils and my 72 Inktense pencils, and they're going to stay at home. So the idea is this book is going to be covered and coloured with dry, either wax dry watercolor crayon or wax dry watercolor pencil, or Inktense, Derwent watercolor pencils, Neocolor 2s, Graphitint, anything that's water based in a pencil or a crayon. I'm scratching it in, and then I can just take this when I go away at the end of the month. So I've got to the end of the month to scratch the colour in, and then I shall just take the book. And I will probably do it as a fast, take my daughter's mini iPad, and I can do it as a fast video, so you can see as it colours, if that makes sense. So has anybody got any questions? So that's end of scratching colour with my Inktense pencils in Magical Dawn by Hanna Karlzon. Thank you for watching.